Hey guys, story time. I'd like to tell you about how I got involved with composition and arrangements and all that stuff. You see, I was always a shitty, slacking musician who never practiced. I had great potential, but I always got in trouble for basically not doing my homework and always sucking at lessons. And God, if only I practiced, I would have been fantabulous. But anyway, I started composing music towards the later years of my high school tenure. But the very first time I composed something was I was 7 or 8. Just went to the piano and wrote a simple 1-4-5-1 melody, like really, really, really simple ditty. Nothing, nothing remarkable. Fast forward some years, I started playing guitar. When I started playing guitar, and this, mind you, was while I was going to music school and studying music theory and all that stuff. I started playing guitar. However, somehow, and this is a thing that sometimes happens. You can have pieces of information, pieces of knowledge in your brain, but they're useless. I knew what chords were. I knew what scales were, how to form chords, but somehow the translation of that into actual notes was missing. So I could play notes, I could play chords, but I just didn't know how to write chords. But only when I started playing guitar, it started making more and more sense. Initially, it was just like, okay, so this is how you play an E major chord. How do you play an F major chord? No idea. Eventually, after taking several private lessons, it started making sense. But around that time, I started composing songs and music and just messing around more and recording myself. One day, I remember I woke up in the morning with a melody in my head. Just, it was a tango, a cheesy derivative tango. I went to the piano, played it back, and wrote it down. I also had a little, like a toy microphone voice recorder, and I sang into it as well. So I recorded what I remembered from my dream where I heard this music, and then I finished it off, wrote the kind of middle section and the ending, wrote an intro. And this was still where when I couldn't make sense of various chords and stuff. I just, like I said, you have knowledge, but it's kind of useless. The link is missing. That was my problem. And that song was called, I called it Tango Dimitri. It was performed in my music school, and it was performed at my college, high school and music school. And then when I was in college, I later recorded it on my computer, playing all the parts by myself. That's what I was getting to. So after I graduated high school, when I was a freshman in college, I had a laptop. Yeah. I had a laptop, and I went to Sam Ash, and I bought software to record music. It was Cakewalk. Around that time, I started experimenting, overdubbing myself with a crappy $10 Radio Shack microphone, just recording myself on my computer. Just layers and layers and layers of stuff. Just plugging in the microphone into into the microphone jack of my laptop. This was 2001. And just playing around, hearing what sounds good, what doesn't sound good. And yeah, that was my kind of introduction to arrangements, because as I've been saying, you are always your number one critic. You're always the best teacher for yourself. And I wrote a few songs like that. I did a few one-man kind of arrangements, and that really, really helped me down the line, working out different parts, trial and error, improvising things. So anyway, fast forward freaking almost 20 years. I I did my most elaborate arrangement ever. Let's take a look at this freaking shit.
Okay, so we are looking at Logic Pro X. By the way, if somebody knows how to bring back those uh, stereo balance faders, I would be grateful. Like they're there if I zoom in, see? Weird. Anyway, I recorded all of these tracks one by one. Lead guitar 2, guitar, arpeggio, guitar, bass, euphonium 2, solo trumpet, clarinet. This is like a zaffoon instrument, organ, trumpet 2, flute 2, violin 2, violin 3. Yeah, let's play it.
Well, so that was my the probably the not probably the most uh, absurdly complicated arrangement I've ever done. I did it with this microphone, warm audio, my Helix, my computer, my laptop, and just wearing headphones so that the the rest of the track does not bleed into the microphone. I just record layers and layers and layers of stuff, one thing after the other until I assemble this chamber orchestra type of a situation. And I'm not a composing what's it called, wizard. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just do. Well, I mean, I somewhat, but mostly I just record things until they sound good. I try different things. How about this? How about that? Oh, that sounds good. Let me try to add another voice to it. Oh, that didn't work. Let me try another one. Like using, we are so lucky that people like me who have no idea, well, Mozart envisioned an entire symphony, was able to envision an entire symphony in his head, hearing all the notes, all the instruments. I can't do that. But luckily, I have technology, so I can instantly play it back and see what works and what doesn't work. And yeah, 20 years later, still at it. So stay tuned. Hopefully, very soon you will hear the final product. It's going to be mixed properly. This is just a mix down, which you heard. But yeah, my one man uh, orchestra plus vocal, yeah, properly mixed. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you like what you hear and see, subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. Peace out.